this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
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 Roll call, please.
Allen.
Here.
Green.
Here.
LaFour.
Here.
Mistrovich.
Here.
Ricks.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Yar.
Here.
Good to see everybody here again tonight. We need a motion to approve the minutes from the City Council meeting of November 21st. Is there a motion?
Motion. Support.
What's been made and supported? Is there any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the minutes, or all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. Unless you gentlemen have something to say, we have no audience this evening. We will move on. Adoption agenda, Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes?
Nope.
If not, a motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
So moved. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. We move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve a consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There is no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have two items for consideration this evening. The first one being consideration of lot combination request from Willow Creek Homes, also the Cherry Creek Building. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider approving a lot combination request from Willow Creek Homes Cherry Creek Building on the 67819 Joe Wood Drive and 67787 Joe Wood Drive for the two parcels associated with those addresses. The builder has been contracted by Mr. and Mrs. Lutz to build a home and have requested that the lots be combined. Both lots are roughly 100 feet by 152 feet and zoned R1.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the lot combination action requested by Willow Creek Homes and Cherry Creek Building for the appropriate parcels, and the action listed below combine lots 36, 37 into one residential parcel.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion?
And I'm living in the neighborhood there. I can actually see it from my house, so I think it's gonna be a nice addition to the neighborhood. I think it'll look fine back there. I don't see any issues
I
with it.
see they clear-cutted between the proposed spot there and where your home is.
Yeah, so I'll see quite well.
Looks like maybe somebody will be building in there, or?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe every house is scheduled, or every lot's supposed to be built on next year, so.
great, great.
There'll be 3 new houses going up back there, so.
Yeah, well, very good. Looks nicer when it's cleaned up.
Yes.
Like that,
Mhm.
you know?
Keep
Okay.
the deer coming in anyways.
Yeah, yeah. As long as the coyotes stay away, huh?
Yep.
Leave them in Sterling Heights. Okay, is there any other, it's been on the news. It's been on the news, that's why.
Very topical today.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Any other discussion on the motion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration of resurfacing Park Street. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider approving a change to the street overlay projects included in the fiscal year 2016-2017 budget. The 16-17 street improvement budget included an overlay of Grove Street from Monroe to Park and milling and overlay Pierce Street from Applewood to Canterbury. The city evaluated all the city streets in the spring of 2016, and completion of the evaluations resulted in some recommended changes to the street program. And what Public Service Director Jim Getzinger would like to do is take the Pierce Street overlay and swap it for the Park Street attached is a memo from him on the recommendations why it's a much more traveled street, and the evaluations resulted in having that one done first, along with it combining with Grove Street, makes possibly some economies of scale.
Very good. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move to authorize solicitation bids for the mill and overlay of Park Street in lieu of Pierce Street in the fiscal year 2016-17 budget.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Obviously, the street is in...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think that it's a wise decision to do Park at the same time as doing Grove. And Park is a very busy street, so if it's a need for the maintenance, I appreciate that you're gonna do it sooner than later.
Does this mean we're going to be moving then Pierce into the following year, or is Pierce not quite as bad as you thought it was?
Not necessarily, yeah. In a year ago, in anticipation of the budgets, I drove every street in town and kind of did a informal rating, being relatively new, I was trying to get a game plan and knowing that we were going to rate all of them officially this spring. And out of that, some changes. Pierce Street isn't quite as bad, and it's not as a priority. So it'll probably come up soon, but not necessarily next year. I already have a few projects that I think are more priority next year.
Okay. Very good. Anything else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just living in Canterbury subdivision, Pierce Street is in pretty good shape, so I think I'm in approval of this as well. It's better to go to Park Street before we go to Pierce. So
Yeah.
it seems to be drivable, and there's not a lot of issues on Pierce.
I will say some of this is a learning curve. I mean, I've gone to a few trainings and kind of determined how bad, if you will, a road can be where it would still qualify for a mill. So at the time, I thought Pierce would be a good candidate, but it does seem like there's plenty of time left before it would fall into a reconstruct. So we're trying to still hit the mill window, but that's not quite yet. So that's part of the reason.
Okay. Anything else? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Move on to city manager comments, sir.
I just want to thank all of the city departments and community organizations that were involved in the Santa Parade and tree lighting. Everything went very well, so appreciate everyone's efforts on that. Also, when you leave tonight, on the table just outside the closed session room, there's two 3-ring binders for everyone to take. One is the water master plan and one is the sewer master plan. We intend to have that on probably your first meeting in January, and wanted to give you plenty of time to take a look at those. We're up for our 5-year renewal. Tetra Tech made all of the changes for the drafts that are back there, so we'd like you to take them tonight and then keep them until that first meeting in January, and we'll have it on the agenda.
Good, very good. Okay, council comments, Dennis?
I just remind everybody winter sports are coming up to schools, and try and get out and support the kids, and so they appreciate all the support they can get. I know that.
Yep. Jeffrey?
There's a few things. Again, I want to acknowledge all the help that happened for the Santa Parade. And a new addition, the DPS, coming out with the dump truck and so appreciate them, getting into all the Christmas spirit in the city. I want to acknowledge all the volunteers for the Christmas decorations that happens every year when it was out. Just a FYI, the executive summary for Flint is coming out, and just to give you all a heads up, there's going to be some implications for local government as far as lead levels and so forth. So, watch for that coming up in the next year as you guys are, as everyone's going into budget. Expect that there might be something coming down on that. Lastly, as I said, next meeting's my last meeting when I resign, and Justice Viviano will be here at 7:30 to swear me in. And everyone's welcome to come, and we'll have little desserts afterwards.
What if the meeting's not over with by 7:30?
Well, I guess it depends on how much you talk.
Yeah. I could go to 7:31.
I think he'll hang out another.
Yeah. Very good. John?
I'd just like to thank everyone who came out for the parade and the tree lighting.
Yep. Emily?
Also, thank all the volunteers for the parade. It turned out great. And also Pinkowitz Cider Mill, they donated over 300 donuts, which was very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that
good.
was nice.
Jamie?
Yes, another fantastic parade and Santa session. And yes, the DPW was by far my son's favorite. I had to have like multiple shots with him posing in different spots with it. So kudos to you guys. It was beautiful. Actually, all of the vehicles this year just seem to have more lights on them. It just seems to be brighter every year. So thank you.
Yep. And we had the weather. Michael?
Yes, I concur with everything. Just want a special thank you for the Santa Parade and, to former council member Jim Schultz, who continues to do that and does a great job, and it gets bigger every year. So thanks to him for continuing doing that. Hopefully he'll keep doing it for years to come.
Yeah. There's so many things going on this past weekend in Richmond, and then this coming weekend, there's a ton of things going on, and it's almost impossible to go to everything that's going on. A lot of things got piled in on that 10th, the way Christmas is hitting this year, and a lot of people had to change their dates, and I think I have at least 5 different things that I normally would attend, and I got to pick which ones I can, because there's so much going on in Richmond, which is a great thing to happen, especially during the holiday season. So we will look at the calendar real quick here. The new calendars, by the way, which have, they're nice calendars. I don't know if we have one on the table yet. No.
Not yet.
But, you know, so the public knows, you can stop by City Hall
Yes.
and pick one up. It's something we've been doing for a number of years, and it works great on the refrigerator. It looks like this, and the new one has some other highlights of Richmond pages on it. And each page, you got one right there? Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then the back of each page has various phone numbers for you in case you have any issues with the city or want to contact the library or anybody else, and answers a lot of questions on how the city is run. They're great calendars. We have a limited supply, but you can come into City Hall and pick one up. It has all the meeting dates on it. It has activities that go on at the recreational center, in the parks, and also the library. So, and other things like, National Day of Prayer, and many other things that go on. So stop by, get your calendar. They're great things to have.
And
And
new pictures from Councilor Green, apparently.
yeah,
Yes.
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So anyhow, stop by for that, and meanwhile, we will look at December here. Today being December 5th, there will be North End Recycling on the 6th, and the Recreation Board will be meeting at 7 o'clock tomorrow night here at City Hall at 7 o'clock. The Planning Commission will not be meeting on the 8th. And the big annual cookie sale at the library will be going on the 9th, and that is from 1 till 7, from the information I have in front of me. On the 10th, which I talked about, it's Shop with a Hero, both at 8 and 12 o'clock for those who need to be there, who have signed up to be a hero that day for a lot of the kids. Lions Breakfast will be held from 8 till 11. That's Lions Breakfast with Santa, and I believe that's at St. Pete's. It has been in the past. I don't have that in front of me. And a number of other things that are going on that day. I actually have a wedding here at City Hall at 11 o'clock also. So it's nice to have the trees up, and they look very nice. The city did another nice job of having the trees up this year and making it festive here. The library board will meet on the 12th, 7 o'clock. The Cable Commission is scheduled to meet at 7 o'clock on the 13th. And our next regular council meeting is 2 weeks from tonight at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. Let me just take a quick look and see if we have anything else here. There will be a blood drive at Richmond Township Hall by Richmond Lennox EMS. That will be on January 3rd from 2 to 8. We had mentioned the Friends Library Cookie Sale. I do have a thing here. It's from 1 to 7 on December 9th. at the library. It's $6 a pound. And if you can help out, if you're a baker, call 727-2665, and they'd love to have some donations of cookies. And then our Parks and Recreation Department has the hall walking, which is held at the middle school on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. It started on November 1st. It goes through till spring from 6 till 8 o'clock. And I believe it's $1. Yeah, it's $1 per evening. And you can walk for 2 hours there, inside in the warmth during the winter. Good exercise. I believe that's all we have right now. We will move on. We do have closed session this evening for contract negotiations. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move to convene into closed session in accordance with Section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, as amended for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement if either negotiating party requests a closed session.
Support?
What's been made and supported. Mr. City Manager, you are requesting
Correct.
a closed session. Thank you, sir. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call? Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Lepore,
Yes.
Mistravich.
Yes.
Ricks,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Yark,
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will convene into closed session.